Good morning, guys. Welcome to Tuesday. If you're new to me, I am Marshall Burtcher, and I help codependents, survivors of narcissistic abusive relationships, love-addicted individuals find freedom and happiness again after all of that. Help them reconnect back to who they are, actually heal from that pain, discover who they are, and then build happy, healthy relationships. So today we're going to be talking about this concept, this idea of feeling scared of other people's feelings. But before we get into that, I need to share this out with the community. Now, the community is a safe haven on Facebook where you can join and you can find shelter and understanding, connection, tools and guidance, and sanity, and things that you have been going through. The link is above on Facebook, below on YouTube, and if you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. And thank you for doing that, by the way. Many of you have subscribed. I appreciate you guys' support. So now that's shared out. Okay. Appreciate you and taking some time with me and allowing me to impact your life. So today, this idea of being scared of other people's feelings. So last night, I was watching one of the episodes from season 9 of the Married at First Sight series, and this couple was having a fight, and it dawned on me that she was not scared of his feelings at all. She had no fawn or freeze response going on. She was very present and conscious and present, connected with the moment. And it struck me. I'm like, wow, interesting. And so I took some time to reflect on it. And it's fascinating to me, this idea that we don't have to be scared of other people's feelings. And I've had this before in my own life. I've had other people respond to me that way, and I've responded to others in a similar fashion where what they were feeling did not feel like a threat to me. And so I started looking at why. What's going on in the background there that leads to this sense of security in the space of someone else having feelings about me or about a situation that I'm involved in, and it doesn't feel like a threat. And it really came down to one thing for me, and that is that I don't feel like they're going to harm me because of their feelings, right? So when we grow up in abusive systems, whether it's abusive, neglectful parents, an abusive culture, spouse, peers, things like that, feelings become associated with the actions that come from them. And a lot of times abusive people feel entitled to execute their feelings through action on another person, and we call that abuse, where they're harming you because they're upset, so they want you to hurt too. And in these experiences I've had, and these examples I've seen where people are not scared of the other person's feelings, there wasn't a threat of harm involved. It was that I feel this way, and I want to understand where you're coming from, and I want you to understand where I'm at. It was the goal was to understand each other. It was to generate connection and a comprehension of what's going on, so that they could work it out and resolve it. I found that very, very empowering to reinforce that in my world, and that inspired me to just kind of communicate this here today, because I'm a little frazzled today. I just busy brain day, But this concept of being able to sit in the space of another human being and not feel scared of their feelings really comes down to that. They're not going to harm us because they feel something, especially if they feel angry or hurt or disappointed. They're not going to withdraw their love. They're not going to withhold from us. They're not going to verbally, emotionally, or physically or spiritually attack us in some way. Instead, they're going to treat us with a continued respect and warm regard, and they're going to communicate what they feel. And so those kind of conversations go like this. It's like, hey, I'm upset about how you did this thing or what you did. It confused me and it hurt me, and I would like to discuss that. Okay. That's not a threatening experience right there. That is an act or an effort to try to connect. So if someone was saying that to me, then it's like, you want to connect with me. you care enough about the relationship and me and your connection with me and my connection with you that you're willing to be that vulnerable and available to discuss this and to address it. Guys, when people attempt to communicate a problem in a relationship, they're advocating for the relationship as well as themselves and you. It's an act of love to communicate a problem or a concern. And it's an act of love to receive it and then validate or at least verify what they're experiencing, and then work to understand their point of view if you don't understand or you don't agree with it. Empathy is an important component to that experience, as well as just slowing down and acknowledging your own activation when you get into that, like you have big feelings that might come up. Just put it on the table. It's like, oh, okay, so you're upset with me because I did this, and I feel really anxious about this, or I feel really, I feel some shame, or I feel some anxiety about it, or some fear, and say, so give me some moments to just kind of get some space with that and get connected with it, so I can connect with you. See, the more space we give this, the slower we go into these things, or the slower we allow conflict to move, the easier it is for us to respond to it effectively. Because a lot of times in conflict, we get activated. Let me shut that up. Everybody in their things. We get activated, and that puts us into a fight-flight mode, and we try to do things quickly. So it's really, we can abort that mode. We can interrupt that cycle by acknowledging what we're feeling and taking a breath. Maybe regulate a little bit. Go, okay, I'm here. Let's take some time with this. So guys, really, one of the big hallmarks that I've seen in my own relationships and that I have taught is that when you feel safe in conflict, you're with a safe, healthy person. Healthy conflict doesn't feel threatening. It doesn't feel like it's going to harm you. Now, you might be scared that it'll end the relationship, and that's an understandable place to be. But you shouldn't be feeling like this is going to hurt me. Like my well-being is going to be threatened if I bring this up. That is a serious signal to you that you are in a toxic relationship. You're dealing with someone who is fundamentally unsafe for you. So be mindful of that. Okay? So really it's like a short video today. So yeah, there you go. 7-8 minutes of a little brilliance there. Guys, I appreciate you. Remember that you're worth knowing, loving, and keeping. We'll be starting a new training series next week. We'll be addressing a different kind of cycle, the codependence experience with the avoidant partner. So it's a little different than the sad cycle where you have the seduction, abuse, discard, and the avoidant cycle. It's a different approach. So we'll be talking about that a bit. So those of you dealing with avoidant or emotionally unavailable people can understand how that activates your own codependent impulse, puts you into that chase reflex and that fawn reflex. Because it all fundamentally still deals with the discard trauma, the threat of being unloved or discarded or abandoned. So we'll be talking about that next week. Otherwise, guys, keep yourself safe, keep yourself healthy. I appreciate you. Remember that you're worth knowing, loving, and keeping, and I'll see you guys in our next video. Have a great day. Bye-bye.